Hey everybody, welcome to our live cruise Q&A. I have just got back from a Cunard cruise, which was fantastic, on board the Queen Mary 2. We sailed across to Hamburg and we got back just in time for this big storm that has hit us. If you are in the UK or anywhere where this storm is, I hope that you are okay and I hope that your things haven't blown away. I went out for a little walk earlier and it is blowing a hoolie, as my dad says in the chat. It is blowing a hoolie. Yes, it is. Hopefully you cannot hear the wind, but it's very, very, very stormy here. If you are in the chat, I'm going to try and get through as many questions as I can, but if you can start your question with the word question, it makes it so much easier for me to pick out which one is a question. If I don't read it, if I don't answer it, I'm not seeing it and ignoring it. I'm just going to try and get through as many as I can. Okay, so hello to everybody who is here. We've got people from all over the world in these chats, which is very cool. If you are here before the live stream starts, yes, you can ask a question and I will try and answer them. I can't promise that I'll answer every question, but I will absolutely do my best. So hello to everybody who is in the chat. Hello to John. Hello to Tracy. Hello to Pete, Linda, Tony, Mark. So many of you in the chat. It is so nice to see you. Hello, everybody. I've got so many things to tell you about this Cunard cruise. If you haven't already seen my video that I published yesterday, please check that out because it shows everything that I'm going to talk about in this live stream. And if I've missed anything in that video, come back here and ask me here. It was a brilliant weekend. Cunard is the reason I am here talking to you. If it wasn't for my first Cunard cruise, I wouldn't have started a website. I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel. So we have Cunard to thank for our Friday chats. First question is, did the ship have separate classes of dining? So Cunard are very formal. They have set times for dining. They like their formal dress codes. And they kind of have different classes for dining. But I think it's 85% of people on a Cunard cruise are just regular passengers. And then they have that extra percentage, which is in the Queen's Grill. It's the same as Norwegian having a Haven, MSC having a yacht club. Most cruise lines now have some sort of more premium area and those people get their own restaurants. But I think our restaurant was amazing that we had on board. So I was very happy being with the majority of the passengers. I booked the cheapest inside cabin on the cruise. I didn't pick my location. For 4 nights, I paid £349 for the cruise, which for a Cunard cruise is pretty good. They're not normally a budget cruise line, but we do have to add on gratuities and drinks to that. And drinks are pretty expensive. Pete says he was on the cruise with me at the weekend. Very cool. What did you think of the cookies? They were too crunchy for my liking. To be honest, I only had one cookie and it was tiny because I wasn't even looking for cookies because I was so distracted by the amount of donuts on board. Maybe my favorite donuts of all time on land, at sea, anywhere. It was fantastic. Whoever is making all of those cakes for Cunard, oh, so good. The one little cookie I did have was with the chocolate fountain and marshmallows and brownies, and it was just sugar heaven. I have such a sweet tooth. I love all of that stuff, but I was more interested in the donuts. To be honest, they were just brilliant. They were so brilliant. But I hope you had a good time, Pete. We definitely did. We had a good time. Hello to everyone who is joining us. It's so nice to see you. Monkey says, you should join that Tips for Travelers guy, Gary, on a cruise. You have both soothing, classic British voices. I love Gary. I've known him for a very long time, but we do very different types of cruises normally. So I have done some kind of press launches with him. I see him around at various events and things, but Gary's not going to be in, an inside cabin on a Costa cruise, and I'm not going to be on a Viking Ocean cruise anytime soon, so that may be tricky. Thomas says, I'm going to buy that daylight portable light you used on your cruise. Yes, it made such a difference. I also lent one to my friends, the cruise boys. They're off on another cruise today, and they were very impressed with it too, which is cool. So what it is it's just a pretend sun, and it basically lights up so that you don't wake up in the dark. emmacruises.com/lamp is where I have my current recommendations. There's many types, but you just don't want one that's too big or too heavy if you're going to take it on the cruise. But it is good. We had a decent cabin. I mean, the ship's from 2003, and some things you can tell that it's from 2003 just because of the design, but it was all clean, apart from the bra that my mum found in her cabin that we assume was a previous passenger's that was left behind. Apart from that, everything was spotlessly clean on board. If you want to see the bra, you're going to have to watch the video. It was quite funny. Hello, John Paul. Excited to hear about Emma's latest adventure. It definitely was an adventure. It was a really good one. Hello to Gina. Hello to Jim. Everyone is saying how windy it is. Yes, it is windy. How has the weather been in Brighton? If you type in Brighton Beach Cam, there's loads of live streams from Brighton Beach, and there's people who are down. Why would you go down right to the edge in the waves? I don't know. But you can see everything there. Oh, Mike says, I'm considering using the P&O free coach option for getting to and from the port. I live 260 miles away. Are there any cons to doing this? The con is that you're going to be going on the coach. If you're someone like me and you get travel sick, that's not good. But the way P&O do things, for people who don't know, is they have different kinds of classes of booking. I always book the cheapest one, the saver rate, of course. But if you book a higher one, you get coach included or parking. If you're somewhere like this, 260 miles away, you're going to get your money's worth out of that probably. So I would say do it. It doesn't make sense for me. I get too travel sick for the coach. And normally there's enough of us that it makes sense to drive. But there's no real cons to it. I suppose maybe a con is that if you get to the port, someone tests positive for COVID, the whole coach is not getting on board. So that's another thing to think about. Apparently it's windy in New Zealand. It's windy everywhere. Oh my gosh. What is your favorite cruise social media team and why? I don't think I have a favorite cruise social media team. I will tag whoever they are when I'm on a cruise, but it doesn't really affect me who the social media team is. I didn't know that Cunard really had a social media presence much before this cruise. I have spoken to them in the past and they kind of said that they didn't really weren't trying to go for my target market being younger people, but they were very nice when I was on board, retweeting my stuff and things, so that was nice. I think P&O shared a picture of me over Christmas, but I don't know anyone. I don't think that works in any social media team, but all good. It is all good. I think if I remembered any that would be bad then that would be an answer, I think. So many people in here from all over the world. Did you consider bringing Hudson on the ocean liner? Absolutely not. No way. So the Queen Mary 2 has kennels on board. You can take dogs, cats, and I believe ferrets across the Atlantic. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm guessing it's a good option if you're going to fly or move to relocate your cat or dog that way. But even taking Hudson's over there, he's not happy with the storm, I tell you. But even taking him to the vets, which is 10 minutes away, his heartbreaking, sad meows, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to take him to the cruise port and I wouldn't want to put him on a cruise. I'd only be able to see him for set times. The kennels are all in one room. So he'd be in a room, even though he's in a little area, he'd be in a room with all these other cats and dogs. He would not enjoy that. We adopted him. He's quite a shy cat. So no, did not consider it at all. Oh, wanted to book a cruise after seeing your videos. I have 3 children and it seems to be a problem every time I try and book or look into cabins. What do you recommend? There are cruise ships where you can have 5 people in the cabin. If that is not going to work out, you can look at cabins that have a adjoining door. So you'll have a door between your 2 cabins so you don't have to go out into the corridor and back in. If you are wanting a cabin that has 5 in it though, you're going to have to do it pretty early when new cruises are launched. That's when you're going to want to be booking. A good travel agent will be able to tell you which ships have cabins for 5. Not all of them do, but it definitely is doable. Just a bit more preparation, I say. Normally you would have, if you've got 5 people in a cabin and it's a balcony cabin, you'll have the normal twin or double beds, 2 Pullman beds from the ceiling, and 1 kind of sofa bed normally. Oh yeah, so Marcus says, I was booking an MSC cruise from the UK on the website and it does not say you need a PCR test. If you are booking any cruises at the moment, keep checking these websites because I've talked to people through email and various other ways where this has changed, within a few days and they've got caught out. I'm not going to say whatever it currently is right now because as soon as anyone watches this in the future, it's going to be wrong. So just check with your cruise line and keep checking it and check the places you need to go to. There's a lot to think about, but it's so worth it. So worth it. Paul and Carol in here. Hello, Paul and Carol. Paul and Carol were on my cruise with me, which was lovely. And they said the standard of the food was superb. It was brilliant. I have just published a post on my website all about the food. It's all the pictures of all of the food that I ate. So if you are interested in food, go and check that out. I thought the quality was very good. Sometimes the portions were kind of small, but the thing is we would be going from lunch to afternoon tea to dinner. So I wouldn't have wanted the portions to be any bigger. And also when you're on a cruise, you can order as much food as you like. There's no limit. So I think it's better that way rather than kind of wasting it the other way around. Did you get a donut? Yes, I did get many donuts. And the donuts were nowhere near the Homer Simpson mural. No. I did tell people in my video where that is. A few people are like, spoiler alert, but I assume most people watching the video are not right now trying to find Homer Simpson. There's 5,000 or something pieces of art on board, and they've hidden a little Homer in one of them. I did manage to find it. Yeah, cakes were the best. Cakes were so good. Absolutely. Good question from Peter. Is everything that's not included put onto your room bill, or could you actually pay for a drink in cash? You cannot use cash. Cash does not have any value other than sometimes in the casino, the machines will take, like $1 bill or something, but cash is useless. So it's completely, they don't have, tills with money in them. Cash is just not a currency. Everything that you buy on a cruise will go onto your cruise card. Some cruise lines will let you pay that off in cash or put cash on at the beginning and then spend it, but you can't say, can I have a Pepsi? Here's £5. It shouldn't cost £5 for a Pepsi, but it's quite expensive on Cunard. That's not going to work. It's not a thing, which I think is pretty cool. I don't really use much cash anymore. Off on Victoria in June. What is your top tip? The top tip for Cunard has got to be go to the afternoon tea. If you do a Cunard cruise and you don't go to afternoon tea, you're doing something wrong. It was brilliant. It was very, very good. People always ask me, is this the most British cruise line? Is this what it's like being British? And it's absolutely not. We don't do that at home. But it's very kind of old-fashioned, traditional British. How you imagine, people used to live. It's like being in a movie. It's very interesting. Without context, this question from Rusty sounds really strange, but he says, got to ask, where did your mum find the bra? So mum found a bra in her room that had just like fallen down the back of one of the drawers. Maybe the cabin steward just looked in all the drawers and saw that they were empty, and then it was clean and they left. But it was a big bra, so it just made me laugh. We did throw it away, but yeah, quite funny. My comments are jumping around. I need to thank a couple of people for super chats. Thank you, Mark. Also very windy in Baltimore. I don't know what's going on with the world. Everything is so windy. And thank you, Jim, for my super chat. Do you think Cunard will be making a new ocean liner since QM2 is getting on in age? Although she does look to be pretty good based on your video. I think she's pretty good. I think they've looked after her. I think Queen Anne, which is going to be the new Cunard ship, is supposed to be a hybrid between a cruise ship and an ocean liner. I don't know if we will see just a pure ocean liner again. I don't know. They've gone out of fashion, and I understand why the companies can make more money if they do traditional cruise ships, but it is what it is. For anyone who doesn't know, the main difference is really between ocean liners and cruise ships. Ocean liners are designed to take people from a place to a place. Cruise ships are designed for people to just have a good time, go around in circles, sunbathe, that kind of thing. So there's differences in the way that the ships are actually designed in terms of how they're going to deal with bad weather, the positioning. It gets complicated, but there are lots of differences. But when I was on this cruise, I just wanted to see, is it going to affect the cruise? Is it just a, ocean liner kind of thing? But it did. There's no outside pool, like a big outside pool deck. The buffet's on deck 7. Buffet's normally on deck, 15 or 14. It's normally right at the top by the pool deck. There's no pool deck. So the buffet is in the middle, which was very cool. But we didn't feel any movement on this cruise. It was just magical. I can't answer this question because it says, who is your favorite cruising YouTuber? I cannot answer just one because I know so many so well, and everyone, many people. If I have 20 different answers, then I would do that. But yeah, I can't pick just one. There's no way I could anyway. I saw my friend Chris, who's a lecturer on Cunard ships, commented on my video earlier and said that it was good. And I thought, now he's said that, I can relax. He knows everything about Cunard. He would let me know if there was anything terrible with it. But yes, many cruise YouTubers I love. I try and keep up with as many as I can. But obviously, I'm trying to make content at the same time. Tips on starting my own cruise channel. Oh, exciting. I think just give yourself permission to try different things. Don't think that you have to have everything figured out right at the beginning. It's taken me 5 or 6 years to get to where I am now. And you've just got to keep showing up week after week, a long time. You'll get 1% better every single video you make. But don't put too much pressure on yourself at the beginning. You've got to just do it for fun, or you'll go crazy. You've got to do it a lot. So enjoy it is the main thing. Thank you all for your questions. Did you change your camera 3 or 4 weeks ago? I'm out of focus on live streams now. No, I've not changed anything. It's the same camera. It's the same software. The only thing is it's dark now, which is kind of annoying. It's so much better when it does get lighter. But no, nothing changing. So many comments. Thank you, everybody. Is afternoon tea truly just tea, or is there also coffee? I assume you can have coffee there. I've never drank a full cup of coffee in my life. I don't like it, but I can imagine the outrage if they didn't have coffee. So yeah, coffee is fine. Do you prefer traditional cruise ships or ocean liners such as Cunard? So I really enjoyed this cruise, a really good cruise. I have to say 4 nights of the formal dress though, and it was nice to come home and not have to dress up for dinner and to go out. The dress codes on Cunard are not just in the main dining rooms, they're also in the theatre, most areas on the ship. So if you're in your room, you've had room service and you want to go to the theatre, you're going to have to get dressed to go, which it's a bit much for me. I understand why people do it, and I enjoyed it. We had a great time. But I'm not going to say, oh, never cruise on a cruise ship again, because I love ocean liners. Queen Mary 2 is the only one, so that would be quite limiting. If I am going to do a long distance cruise, though, if I am going to do a transatlantic, Queen Mary 2 is the only way. When I came back from my Christmas cruise, I was convinced I would not do a transatlantic because I was so sick over at Christmas. It was just rough weather. It was terrible. But it's changed my mind back again. But I'm only doing it on Queen Mary 2, no other ones. Was there an indoor pool? Yes, there's a really nice indoor pool. So the indoor pool is probably the size that an outside pool maybe on other cruise ships. And they have all of the kind of Cunard towels there. There's no like checking in towels, checking out towels like you have on some other cruise lines. It's all very, just felt posh. Posh was my Britishism this week, if you haven't seen the video yet, because it was all very posh, Tommy says, does anyone know when vaccines won't be required for cruising? No one knows that, because cruise lines don't know that, because no one can predict a pandemic. If you have any idea, please let me know, but I don't think it will be any time soon. Scott says, Cunard was planning a major midlife refit that would take 3 months. Don't know if that's been shelved or pushed back. I don't know. I do not know that one. Are they wearing masks in the ballroom? Dancing is exercise. Yes, it's an odd rule, this one, I think, because you can only dance with your own person you've come with. You can't dance with strangers, and you have to wear a mask. But you're already with that person, and then you have to put a mask on. I don't know. It seemed a bit odd. But generally speaking, if you're walking around the ship, you have to wear a mask. If you sat down in a bar or restaurant, you don't have to. If you're outside, you don't have to. Probably blow off, to be honest with you. But yes. I will say that the kind of COVID safety measures, it felt like there was a lot more on this cruise than the other ones that I've been on. Most other cruises I've been on recently, it's been the same as normal, just with mask wearing. But on these ones, there were, actually seats closed off, and you really couldn't sit there. And it felt like the capacity on board was reduced quite a bit. I'm not too sure how many people were on there. But they took it very, very seriously. Everything was very, very clean, which is good. Have you seen security guards on board cruise ships? I can't think of any times that I have. I mean, I know they have security, and occasionally someone will have a band or something, but I haven't seen anything like that. When is your next cruise? Says Thomas. My next cruise is on Tuesday. It is going to be a bit of a surprise for everybody. But sorry, I've just saw a comment I need to block. I know some of my moderators are going on cruises right now. Everyone's getting back to cruising, which is cool. But I can block people and I can kick them out, which is cool. So yeah, I'm going on a cruise on Tuesday. It is very far away. It's very, very exciting. And I will let you know closer to the time. This one is going to be a bit of a surprise. Have you cruised solo since COVID-19? I have not cruised solo since, but I will say that I feel like things are kind of back to normal for solos now. So if you were cruising solo on this Cunard cruise, you could share a table again. For a while, you had to sit, kind of by yourself. So that's good. I think things are pretty much back together for solo cruisers. I'm technically cruising solo when we do our 90s and noughties cruise, which will be cool in May. But I think I know 100 people who are coming, and I'm really looking forward to that one. Yeah, Deck 7 is a more stable place for the buffet. Yes, it was amazing. I've been in so many buffets, especially on the ones that come to mind are the big MSC ships. And when you sit up in the buffet, your food is almost vibrating sometimes, which was cool. 1,600 on Queen Mary 2, we were told by the staff at the port. Interesting. I can't remember the full capacity. We have got I think, we've got a lot of interesting people in the comments today, just blogging a couple more. That's all the fun of YouTube. I'm still waiting for my YouTube plaque to come. Hopefully that will come soon. Justin says, things are a little odd. You can't interact, touch, or dance with cruise staff. Yeah, in the way I just said with the ballroom, you wouldn't be allowed to dance with someone else. How they monitored that, I do not know how they know who people came with. They don't, but yes. Did you get to observe bridge operations? I didn't do anything bridgy on Queen Mary 2. Nope. Do you think dining on cruises have gone back to normal? Everything really on this cruise was back to normal. We never really went anywhere and found that anything was closed or, apart from the social distancing on the seats, the mask wearing, the reduced capacity, you could still do everything. Yeah, my mum says Ventura Buffet Christmas could hardly walk in there. Yes, agreed. Capacity is 2,700. Interesting. So then it is quite reduced. I think that's pretty good. I think we did well there. We did well because it wasn't expensive. I've wanted to try Queen Mary 2 for a long time, but always kind of just put off by the price. I did take this little Hudson that I have here, and he has got his bow tie because even little Hudson has to have a bow tie, which I think is cute. But that's the Hudson I bought. I didn't bring my big Hudson. Big Hudson stayed at home. You can dance with other passengers, thank goodness, says Justin. Oh, you can't on you couldn't on Cunard, but I guess Norwegian is Justin's dance place. What do you do with Hudson when you cruise? I always leave Hudson at home here. Not by himself, but he always stays here. We adopted him. He's a cat's protection cat, and he came from basically he was staying in a cattery until he had a home. So I think if ever I put him into a cattery or something like that, he would think that I was leaving him, and I couldn't do that to him. So he stays here, and people stay with him, and he has no limits on his treats, and he gets new toys. He's actually right here right now wandering around, but I think he has the best time, to be quite honest. And my friends will send me pictures of him and videos of him, so I know that he's okay. Cruise Show UK, do Cunard still make up your room twice a day? Yes, they do. My last couple of cruises were with P&O, and they've reduced to only 1 time a day. But yes, they do 2 times a day. I spoke to quite a few people who said that they never saw their room steward. I know the cruise boys felt like this. They felt like it was like a cabin fairy. I don't know. I saw mine. Very, very nice. It was always clean. It was always tidy. But there's not much that they need to do in the evening turn down. Just leave me the chocolate on the pillow. They kind of open your bed a bit so that it's ready to sleep in, but it's fine. Ben says, is Hudson going to make a cameo today? I made a cameo today because I'm on Cameo. Who knew? They accepted me, which is very cool. But he was here just before the live stream, like 30 seconds before. I took a picture of him, so I'll put it on my Instagram story just to prove to you that he was here, but he has gone. That's why his bed's there. He was in there until we went live, but he can come back if he wants to. I think, to be honest, with the wind and stuff, he's a bit, I don't know. He went out and he came in, he had mud on his face. It was so cute, but it's very, very windy. Will you cruise on the bigger MSC ships in the future? Yes, I would love to. Absolutely love to. They look very cool. MSC pop out these new cruise ships like, I don't know, like it's so easy for them. You know, once a year, maybe even twice a year, sometimes they just pop out new cruise ships. Very, very cool. Yeah, so on the Queen Mary 2, I did the 4-night cruise that went over to Hamburg and back. And then some people were staying on from the beginning, some people got on in Hamburg, and it's coming back to the UK, back to New York, and down to the Caribbean. And talking to the crew on board, they said some people are doing like 34 nights on board, which is crazy. And some people are even doing, they said from February to April, so 3 months. I know that they do world cruises on Queen Mary too, but I think I'd prefer to do that rather than just, because if you did a couple of months now, you'd be going like across and back rather than to different places. I don't know. Will you cruise on the Beyond? I don't know if I will cruise on Beyond. This is Celebrity Beyond, but I have been invited to the press launch, the UK press launch. So I should get to have a look around at least. And I'm looking forward to it because I have cruised with Celebrity a couple of times, but it's been on the Silhouette, the older ships. I've been on Eclipse. And it'll be nice to do a new one. It'd be very, very nice. Thank you, Joe. Donuts, thank you. Have you had any incidents with unruly fellow passengers? I don't think so. Nothing springs to mind. I don't think so. I mean, I've been in places, you know, when other people start fighting amongst themselves or something, but I've never seen anything that's been like scary or dramatic or anything like that. Nope. Maybe I don't know. I was going to say on the wrong cruises, but maybe I'm on the right cruises. Maybe I'm in the right place. Any must packs for the Queen Mary 2? You're going to want to pack a lot of formal wear for the Queen Mary 2. Thank you, Joe, by the way, for my super chat. For the Queen Mary 2, so we had 4 nights on board. 2 of them were formal nights, 2 were smart casual nights. And on the smart casual nights, I wore what I would wear for formal night on any other cruise line. Very, very formal. And I think it's impossible to overdress. Gordon says, hi, Emma. Do you get offered free cruises often? And do you get extra perks from cruise lines for having a cruise channel? No, I would cruise in the suites if they invited me rather than the cheaper inside cabins. Occasionally I go on press trips. I did a couple last year. I did one with Princess, one with Celebrity, and I was thinking, because I have been invited on a bike and barge cruise in the summer, which is cool, with a really small company. But generally speaking, the cruise lines don't know, and I wouldn't want them to know. You know, I want to just be a regular person on a cruise. I try and talk to as many other people as I can so that I get, you know, perspectives just in case. But they don't know who I am, and I quite like it like that. I want to just be. I don't announce to the cruise lines that I'm going, because I just want to I want to be a normal person. Just let me go on the cruise. But yes, I do want to do Carnival. You know, I did try in 2020, and I'm gonna get there. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know until we get there. Are you glad you have dodged the storms? Yes, we were so lucky, so lucky. The weather was absolutely perfect on our Queen Mary 2 cruise, and we really needed it. My last cruise was very rocky, and I thought, I don't want to make a storm part 2. Like I said that before I went. I didn't want to make a storm video part 2, and thankfully we didn't. Not a question, says Andrew. Emma, you look fantastic in all your photos with little Hudson. Thank you very much. He's very cute. He is very cute, little Hudson, and big Hudson. Oh, Sam says he's going on Edge, and should he book a dinner at Eden or just look at it for lunch? I have not been on there, so I'm not qualified to answer this question. From speaking to people who've been on there, I don't know that you need to do the actual dinner bit. I don't think the dinner bit is, you know, the cool thing is the I don't know. I think it's just being there. So find out from someone who's been there, I guess. But I probably wouldn't personally. I don't know. If money was no object, absolutely. Are you going on any new cruise ships this year? Apart from going on Beyond for the press launch, I think that's it. I think that I think that's it. So yeah, our cruise, it just went to Hamburg, and I will say a little warning: if you are going to Hamburg on Sunday, Germany closes a lot of things on Sundays, and I didn't realize to the extent. Here in the UK, our shops close early on Sundays. We're used to that. I worked in Asda for years and years and years, and we would get to finish at 4, which was great. But it was everything, restaurants, bars, shops, everything was completely closed, to the point where, if you just wanted to, I don't even know, we couldn't do anything really because everything was closed apart from the touristy places. The touristy places are going to be open, but you have to pre-book. If you just want to, get some food or a drink or something, it was really strange. It was honestly like being in a movie, which was very cool. How long do you plan before you go on a cruise? Sometimes I will book cruises more than a year in advance. I'm more of a last minute person than a very, very far in advance person. If you're someone who wants to get hands down the cheapest cruise deals, book them 2 or 3 years in advance. Book them when the ships launch, the new itineraries are launched. It's very rare that it's ever going to get cheaper than that. I can't commit, to be quite honest, to 2 or 3 years in advance. I don't know what to do. But yeah, last minute is also good. So anywhere between, for me, a year and a half is probably the furthest I've booked, up until a couple of weeks before, which is cool. Oh, Tom and Dom. Hello, Tom and Dom. Also on my cruise. Lovely to meet you guys. Nothing was open. Yes, we went to a kind of viewing platform place, which was open. We went under a tunnel and we did all kinds of things. We walked our 20,000 steps, but you have to do it outside because everything inside was closed, and it was freezing. It was definitely hat weather, coat weather, everything like that. But it was very, very nice. Germany is beautiful. Yes, there's so much to see, I just see a comment that says someone answer me, but I don't know. I can't see any other comments. So sorry. If you can repeat, I will try. What is the last thing you forgot to pack for a cruise? The thing that comes instantly to my mind, it was a while ago though, is I forgot to pack a hairbrush or any sort of hair comb, anything like that. But that was fine. You can buy a hairbrush pretty cheap. You can buy most things that you forget. As long as you have got your passport, as long as you have access to money, money fixes most problems. And you need your vaccine stuff and your test stuff. You can't do anything without those. But apart from that, any other problem you can fix with money. It may not be, you may pay £5 for something that's £1 at home. It's not worth stressing too much about it though. John says, join Patreon for personal responses to your questions. Yes, I am doing my best to answer as many questions as I can. And I came back from this Queen Mary 2 weekend with over 500 Instagram messages, just Instagram direct messages. And then I've got Twitter, then I've got emails, and I feel so bad when people have put so much time into sending me a message, and I do my best, I really do, but without spending, I normally spend 2 hours a day replying, maybe more, and if without me spending 5 hours a day, I just can't. So if you do join our Patreon, it's $5 a month to get personal access to me. We have a Discord chat, we do live streams. We're doing another live stream on Monday for Patreon and YouTube channel members, and that's how I can kind of cut down on that. I wish I had the time, but I need to be making videos, and it took me so long to edit this week's videos. I've written a couple of blog posts today, which was cool. But this video, my goodness, I honestly felt like Mum always used to say to me that you'll get square eyes if you watch the TV too much. And it felt like my eyeballs were actually square. The word Cunard didn't sound right at all. It did not. Time to hire an assistant. Yes, I do debate all the time, handing over my social media stuff. But the thing is I love meeting people on ships, and they say, oh, it's so-and-so, we talked about this. And I'm like, oh, yes, I remember. Like, I like those conversations with people. It's nice. I wouldn't ever want anybody to, pretend to be me. That would be really strange. But there's so much time in the day. The live streams are here. And it just makes so much more sense for me. If I write a blog post for an hour, hundreds of, thousands of people can see a video or read a blog post. I can't reply one-on-one to 100,000 people. So it's kind of just collecting all of the questions that I get everywhere and then releasing it into the internet. But yes, please don't ever think that I'm ignoring you. I appreciate all of the messages, and I am doing my best. Yes. You should hire an editor. I don't think I want to hire an editor, to be quite honest with you. It would get rid of probably the biggest chunk of my week. But I like editing the videos, and I like putting in the things that I think are funny. I don't know if anyone else does. And also, it's my cruise photos. This is my family's, I get back and I've got 500 videos, 2,000 photos from my family's holiday, and no one else is going to know, what is what or anything like that. Or make premium membership. Yeah, so I have Patreon and I have YouTube channel membership. And both of those get the same access to our Discord chat, to live streams. We're doing one on Monday. Yeah, that's how I can kind of split up my time, which makes sense. Oh, Les met the cruise boys, desperately wanting to meet me and say thanks on the tip on the inside cabin. Interesting. Oh, brilliant. That's so exciting. There were so many people on this cruise, and it was brilliant to see so many people and to just chat. Just such a nice bunch on this cruise, which was really cool. But if anyone sees me, say hi to me. Please say hi to me. I do always want to chat. I normally look like I'm in my own world, but I'm just thinking about things. I'm taking pictures of menus. I'm taking pictures of room service and all of that stuff. But say hi to me. I will say hi back. But I hope you had a good cruise, Les. I'm sure you did. Can I check into the cattery? If you're a cat, then yes. If not, then probably not. John says, come on, it is easy to hit the like. Yes, it is easy to hit the like. And YouTube likes it when you hit the like. Have you ever thought about opening a cruise travel agency? Well, this goes back to the question, like the thing that I just said, that I don't have enough time to. I couldn't take on that. I couldn't be a travel agent. I work with a travel agent who does all the bookings for me so that people can book through me and her, and we talk about the bookings, but I can't do that admin. There's so much that comes with being a travel agent. It is such hard work. Massive respect to anyone who is a travel agent, especially in the last couple of years. You guys are superstars. Do you get the kitty love fest from Hudson when you get back from a cruise? My kitties acted as if I was a wayfarer. No, nothing. There's no acknowledgement that I ever left, which, to be honest, I think is better because he's not traumatized that I'm gone. I think he tolerates me, to be quite honest. Oh, where can we find out about themed cruises? I would love to do an 80s or 90s cruise, but can't make the one in May. That's fair enough. It would be very cool if you could have. That would have been really nice. But I don't think that there is a list anywhere particularly of all the themed cruises just listed out, which would be very nice. I'm sure travel agents have, theme sections of their websites. I'm sure some people have put together blog posts about it, but I can't think of any great just list of that. How long did it take you to get to 100K? My channel, I think, has been around since 2017. I will say for the first year or so, it's kind of just like Emma wants to show you, I don't know, the view from the elevator. Emma thinks it's cool. It wasn't, a conscious effort. Then I started moving into kind of more daily vlogs and ship tours and things. And then pandemic hit, obviously. So I don't think my channel can be used as any kind of case study, but interestingly, the shutdown of the cruise industry, I could have just stopped, and so many people did just stop, but I decided to pivot into what I could do. Cruise news, general cruise stuff that's still interesting. And to be honest, I think that has made my content better now because I like to put in like a little bit of cruise trivia, the Britishisms and things. We picked those up while the cruise industry was closed. So yeah, since 2017, maybe 3 years of conscious effort and a little while before that of the channel kind of existing. 104K subs. Yes, we are zooming, which is very cool. Chris says, do you ever face writer's block with a daily blog? I do not. I could not blog daily, not at all. The problem I have right now is I come back from these cruises with so many things that I want to say, and it's just kind of getting it out and getting it all formatted and things. So I've done my written review of this cruise. I've done the food one. I'll do the cabin one and things soon. But for me, it's more like I have this energy and I need to get it out right now. But I don't publish every single day. There's not enough time in the day. There's not. I do really enjoy the kind of writing side though. 96,000 to go to 200,000. That is very cool. Would you have liked to do Concorde or the QE2 Transatlantic? Managed to do Concorde, London to New York. I don't know. I mean, I probably would have wanted to. Whether I would have actually been able to, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even imagine. But that's a good question. I've never had that question before. What's your favorite video of yours? Too many great ones. I think every time I publish a video, it's my favorite one. And the one I did just do about this one is my favorite because I feel like I incorporate so many things that I've picked up over time. And I want to get better every single video I make. I want to make it more interesting. I want more people to stay. Yeah. So I think my last one is my favorite one right now. It's not the case that the best performing one is my favorite for sure. Do you do all the editing and stuff? Yeah, I do everything. I do the recording. I do the scripting. I'm the presenter. I'm the editor. I'm the everything, the writer for my website, the research, the social media, the emails, the everything, the Patreon, the Cameo, the course. I run a course that takes up quite a lot of my time. I do consultations, all kinds of things, and it's just me. It is just me. Favorite video is the next one. Yes, I love that. I love that. It's so exciting. You know, I really like it when I come back from a cruise like this one, when there's so many things, and I think, oh, you know, Samantha really wanted to hear about this. I can tell her that, or Lucy wanted to know this, or Jeff wanted to know this, and I can share everything. And that's what I really like. Thank you for my super chat. How many subs to get a cookie play button from YouTube? I don't know that is a thing, but that would be absolutely amazing. Hopefully my plaque comes soon and I'll put it here, or I'll put it here. I'll put it somewhere in the background, I think. Want to start a YouTube channel, but the editing takes so long. Do not try and start a YouTube channel and do editing like I do. Do not do that. When you start, write down bullet points of things you want to say, press record, sit down, talk, press stop, chop off the ends. That's all you need to do at the beginning. You just need to start. As they say, you don't have to be good to start, but you have to start to be good. Do not compare yourself to my first video if you want. That will make you feel better. Do you ever look back on your first videos? I did when we hit 100,000 subscribers, because I shared a few in this live stream, and you know, you have to start somewhere. And it just is strange to me how different I come across on camera, and I'm the same. Nothing has changed. I've just learned how to smile and wave my hands and stuff, and before I was like this, which is very boring and no one is gonna watch it. When are you going on a river cruise again? So soon. Not that far away. I'm trying a river cruise with TUI, which is going to be very exciting. Decent prices on the river cruises with TUI. I mean, normally river cruises are £300-400 per night. They're a luxurious thing, but with TUI, maybe slightly more than an ocean cruise, but I paid £1,000 for 7 nights, including the flights. And that includes a lot of excursion credit. We're not going to have to spend any more on excursions, and drinks with meals, I think. So all in all, I think that's pretty good, but I haven't done it yet. We will see when I get back, but that will be soon, which is cool. We're going to the fjords next July. What excursions would you recommend? Most of the excursions I've done in the fjords have been to look at glaciers, to look at churches, to look at sky lifts, I think. I will say I don't think you need to do excursions in every port in the fjords. Certain ones, if it's Bergen, Stavanger, you can just get off and you can wander around those places. You can see everything you want to do, or do some sort of walking tours, things like that. The ones I've done have been mostly kind of coach-based on the bus, and I don't really like spending too long on the bus. I prefer to be out walking around, but you can do that. I love the fjords, I love them. Is your cruise really soon a river cruise? Didn't even think of that. It is not. My next cruise is not a river cruise, and it's not Norwegian. I'll say that just before you get excited. It is not Norwegian yet, but Thank you for my super chat. Appreciate that one. Jim says Emma's engagement is great. Thank you so much. I thought you meant that I had got engaged, and I didn't know I had got engaged. But thank you, Jim. Why I'm in both Patreon and YouTube answers so many of my insane takes on things. So join. Thank you so much, Jim. It is a pleasure to know you, Jim, and thank you for being in both. I mean, that is double cool. Just got a positive COVID test for a Disney cruise. Got a positive COVID test. Is there anything cool to do in Orlando? I mean, if you have COVID, then stay inside, please. Hopefully you can just move your cruise though. Most of the cruise lines are pretty good. If you test positive right before, they'll let you shift it. Does depend though. Great question from Chris. How do you decide what ports to explore on your own and actual excursions? So I start all of my research normally on the cruise line's website because they've done all of the research. They know what the best things are to do in a place. And then I will see, if the top things to do are to go to an aquarium, I will just Google the aquarium and see how much it costs to get in there, and then I'll work out how to get there, or I'll go on TripAdvisor and I'll go for top 10 free things to do or cheap things to do in a certain place. If it turns out, there's no way I can't walk there, there's no train or buses or anything, then I may do the actual excursion. Sometimes the excursions are good. I'm not saying never do them, but sometimes it just makes sense to do that bit more of research, and then you can save half the price. And I think it's fun sometimes. Some of the best things I've seen have been just wandering around. John says, I want to be a pleasure to know. Yes, John, you are absolutely a pleasure to know. Absolutely. King Spud here. King Spud, John. Yes. So if you have not seen that video yet, of course I'm going to encourage you to watch it, but please do watch it because it's so nice to kind of show you these things. I did as much filming as I could in 4 days, and it felt like I was filming everything constantly. But when I used everything. I used almost everything in that video just so that you could see a complete overview. Is the jump on, jump off buses worth it? It sounds funny when it's jump on, jump off because it's normally hop on, hop off, but there's no reason. They're both just as silly as the other. But yes, I really like hop on, hop off buses. If you've only got a day in a place to see all of the most famous things, it's quite hard. If you are doing public transport, it's quite confusing sometimes. But I like the hop on, hop off buses. We did have a bit of a disaster with the hop on, hop off bus in Lisbon. It never showed up, and I had to get a refund for everybody. But it was okay. It was okay. Oh, I see. Family got back from a Disney cruise this past week. Masks were a bother, but Disney cruise was great. That is good. That is good. I hope they enjoyed the cruise anyway. If you were to take the Queen Mary 2 for a 7-night transatlantic cruise, do you think you would be bored after a few days? I don't think so. I think if you go into it knowing that that's how long you're going to spend at sea, you would just fill your time with things. You would just bring a good book. I mean, they have the biggest library in the world, but I could spend days sitting in that inside pool, just chilling out, just eating. If you're going to go to afternoon tea and lunch and dinner and breakfast, a lot of your time is going to be taken up with food. My concern would be that I would spend a lot of money on drink. The drinks are quite expensive on a Cunard cruise. Everything has the 15% gratuity added on top of it. So I would that would be my concern, not bored. But maybe, I suppose, for us, we were only on board for 4 nights. So it was like, I need to go to afternoon tea because I need to do the planetarium, because I need to go to the theatre shows. I need to do everything. And on a 7-night cruise, you would just give yourself, we'll do the planetarium today. We'll go to afternoon tea tomorrow. We'll have a swim tomorrow afternoon, and you just kind of spread things out. I don't think I would be bored. The internet, though, oh my goodness, don't even consider getting the internet. It is so unbelievably expensive because it's only by the minute. Like, I didn't get internet on this cruise. Me, and this is literally my job, is everything cruise related. But I thought, I can go a few days without it. We were close enough to land most of the time that I could use my 4G, to be honest with you, just to check in on my emails, check everything was okay. But the internet, it's not a cruise line where you can just pay £10 per day and get days of internet. It's expensive. It's expensive. It should be fast because no one wants to pay for it, to be honest. But yeah, don't factor that you'll be able to, stream things on the Cunard cruise, especially Transatlantic. I'm an American and I want to start doing afternoon tea. What time do you usually have tea? See, in the UK, we don't have afternoon tea. This isn't a thing. It's not like you'll be sat at work and then you'll have, I mean, we'll have tea all day, every day, but you don't get to take a break and eat cake. And I wish you did. I love afternoon tea. But afternoon tea is normally 3 p.m., something like that, on a cruise anyway. Yeah, it's not. I always feel like a letdown when I say it's not a thing, but it's not. It's just not a thing that we do. Thanks for answering my question. You are very welcome. Thank you for asking a good question and being so polite. I appreciate it. What do you think about Costa cruises? I've only taken one Costa cruise so far, but I would love to do another one. And it was good. It was very, very cheap, very colorful, very loud. We got what we paid for and we didn't really pay much, to be honest with you. My video about it is called I Took the Worst Rated Cruise Critic cruise because it had like 1 or 2 stars on Cruise Critic. But as long as you go into it realizing you paid, a quarter of the price that you would for Royal Caribbean, it's not going to be the same, but it's fun. I thought it was fun. I thought it was colorful. Are people from the UK as obsessed with traveling to America as Americans are with going to the UK? I don't think that we're obsessed with traveling to America. I mean, if you talk to someone about where are they going to go for their honeymoon, like going to a place like Hawaii is quite like a bucket list destination. But I don't think we're obsessed with it. I don't know. I hear Americans wanting to go to Paris and places like that quite a lot. Was the planetarium free to attend? Yes, the planetarium is free. You have to book it on the app ahead of time. I'm sure you could, do it without the app, but you do have to book before you go. But yes, it's completely free. I think they did the show 3 or 4 times a day. So there's quite a lot of chances to go to it. It's only 25 minutes long. So yes. Thank you to, hello, thank you for joining my channel. You have access now to our live stream that we will do on Monday, and I'll tell you where the cruise is going then, and to our Discord chat, and to I do a podcast every Monday, anything else. So thank you very much for joining my channel. I saw a question I wanted to answer, but I have lost it. Thank you all so much for your questions. Where is it? There it is. Thank you, Peter, for your question. Can you eat vegan food on cruises? You can, yes. There's some cruise lines that are much better at it than others. And I have to say the American cruise lines are not as good at it as the European cruise lines. It makes sense. There's more vegans in Europe, in the UK, than there is in the US. But sometimes it requires a bit of pre-planning. So if you're vegan, tell the cruise line ahead of time. Sometimes they'll make you plan your meals in advance. If you're taking a cruise with a cruise line like P&O, easy peasy. On every main menu, there's a starter main and a dessert that's completely vegan. It wasn't like that on Cunard. I think there might have been one vegan main, maybe. I never saw a vegan dessert or anything like that. So try and pick the right cruise line. I know that's easier said than done. But it definitely is possible. Was the food stodgy? I never had anything stodgy. Tell us about the quality of the sweets versus other cruises. They were amazing. It was honestly like they must have had somebody on board who was just an expert at making donuts. There must have been. They were so good, so good. Have you seen the royal family in person? No, I have not. I don't think so. No, I have not. Sarah says, does anyone know how long it normally takes to reply to a book a cruise form on Emma's website? It should be within 24 hours. And I have the list as they come in, and I can see when Emma's quoted them. And I think the entire time this year, we've hit the 24 hours. A couple of times it's been like 2 days. But if it has been more than that, email me and I'll pass it on to Emma because it's very annoying. But me and Emma also go into our spam go into the spam inbox quite often, but should be within 24 hours, 2 days at a push. If it's more than that, something has got lost somewhere. So send me an email. There was no movie theatre. No, there's a big theatre that's split over 2 levels, and then the planetarium is as big as the main theatre, but there's no kind of cinema, if that's what you mean. Oh, Anthony says, I'd love you to do a deep dive video for the Costa Concordia, how you felt about it at the time, what you would do in that situation, and is there a reason you haven't covered it? At the time, I was not paying attention to anything cruise related. I didn't think about it. I have content about the Costa Concordia on my website, what happened to the captain and all of that. But it's very much more website content for me rather than YouTube channel. I don't think I'll cover it on my YouTube channel. I don't think it's a good match for kind of my content that I make. But yes, go to my website and type in Costa Concordia and you will find that. Lorraine says, you do a podcast. I do a podcast every week, but it's only for the Patreons and the YouTube channel members. That's where I kind of, ask stuff and reveal, where I'm going and things. So I do that every Monday for the Patreons and stuff. That is from $5 a month. So less than £1 a week for my podcast. And it's normally like 25-30 minutes long because I just can't stop talking. You can request vegan and then I request Diet Coke before a cruise on a Pepsi cruise. That is not how that works, John. I will say on Cunard, they had both Coke and Pepsi, which was cool. The Coke was in the signature 330 milliliter bottles, which was pretty expensive. The Pepsi was just the fountain Pepsi, which suited me fine. And I always got it without ice and it was brilliant. It's brilliant. Have you ever thought about cruising outside Europe? I have cruised outside of Europe many times. I have cruised the Caribbean multiple times, the Bahamas from New York, Alaska, Hawaii, Asia. I think that's it. I think that's enough though. I have, yes, and soon I will, which is very exciting. Obviously for the last couple of years, I have been sticking close to home, but I am about to make a change to that, which is very, very cool. Terry says, what would you say to someone who has never cruised and gets seasick to convince them to give it a try? Well, if I can cruise, and if anyone knows me, I get very, very travel sick. I get travel sick in cars and planes and buses. Hopefully not too much in planes, but I get very travel sick. I can't do VR. I thought I was going to get sick in the planetarium because that's how travel sick I am. And on a cruise, I don't go on that cruise assuming I'm going to get seasick. If we do encounter a storm and there is movement for a specific reason, I might feel seasick, but it's still worth it. It's still so much better than being at home. And there's no way you're going to know until you go on a cruise ship. I could never go on a ferry, never, or any sort of small boat. I would be violently sick, but cruise ships are fine. It's totally different. You can do as many things as you can to try and reduce the chances of bad weather. I'm always cruising in, November or January when it's bad weather, because it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Seasickness is gross. It's really not good, but it is worth it. Oh, good question from Chris. He says, is the Disney cruise tax worth it? It depends who you are. For me, no, because I'm not that into Disney. I don't think that the food was better than any other cruise line. The ship certainly wasn't better than any other cruise line. If you do want to see, Disney shows, then yes, of course, the Disney shows are better than other cruise lines. But to me, no, you're paying for the Disney brand, and people love it. People absolutely love it. If you're one of those people, yes, it's worth it to you, but it's not worth it to me. Emma knows where the aliens are, apparently. That's interesting. I've never got that comment before. Will Hudson come on the live stream? It's nearly 6. Hudson, he is here. I'm going to try and get him to come up here. Hudson, come up here and say hi. Oh my goodness. Hudson, come on. You only get to see his tail, but look, it actually works. He's gone now, but there you go. That was him, I promise. I can't believe he even jumped up here, to be honest. But yes, it is nearly an hour of our live stream. This hour absolutely zooms by. It's not that I'm not into Disney. I'm not into Disney enough to pay, 3 or 4 times the price for it to have a Disney brand on it. Yeah. Hudson is in charge. He is in charge, yes. I was worried about him because it's been so windy here in the UK today with the storms, and he has to go outside to go to the toilet, and I thought he might blow away, but he's been doing okay. He's doing all right. Let's pick one last question. This is a good one. What is the longest cruise you have been on? The longest cruise I've been on is 13 nights, I think. I don't think I've ever done an actual 2-week cruise. I don't know. Here in the UK, 2 weeks is called a fortnight. If you want another Britishism to end the video on, I don't think I've ever done the full fortnight. I think 13 nights is the closest I've come. And that was my Singapore to Tokyo cruise, the best cruise that I've ever taken. Ever, ever, ever. Grab the cat. I'm not grabbing him. He's in charge. He's the boss. He oversees everything I do. And he's quite happy. He is gone now. But yes, thank you so much, everybody, for joining me on this live stream. I'm not too sure when my next live stream will be because I am going to be on a cruise next week, which is very, very exciting. Look out for that. I have actually bought the more expensive streaming internet. I know. So I'm going to try and do a stream on board. Whether it will be at a different time, though, I don't know. So please keep your eyes peeled. If you're on our email list, please join it. If you're not, emmacruises.com/news, then I can send you an email and tell you when the next live stream will be. Thank you, James. Hello, Jello. Thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate that one. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Goodbye.